In this video, I'll show you how to make these little tubes that are only 4 stitches around. These are great for things like animal legs, if you're working a really small animal, or even stuff like this. This is Gast from Minecraft, where I used these 4-stitch rounds for the legs here. You can also use it for hair, like I did here. This is Echo from Arcane, and I used these for his hair. Now, these are a little bit tricky to get started, which is why I'm making a tutorial for it. But again, they are just super useful to add that texture or to get the sizing right when you're working stuff that's smaller. I will also say these are easier to work if you're using like a squishier, softer yarn, the one that isn't super tight. I have a yarn that is almost like a cord, super stiff, it doesn't really squish, and that's a lot harder to do this with, but it's still definitely possible, it's just not nearly as easy. So in order to do this, we're gonna wanna start out by making our magic circle. So whatever method you prefer, get yourself set up. And we're just going to crochet those 4 stitches into the center of our magic circle. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video on my YouTube channel as well as a written tutorial on my website, and I'll link that up in the little card up here somewhere. All right, so now I have my 4 stitches. I'm going to close up my circle, and this is where it can start to get a little bit tricky. So I'm going to start out by single crocheting into that first stitch. And because this is the first stitch of a magic circle, it can be a little bit tricky to get into, but just gonna put that single crochet in there. And you'll notice that I haven't marked the, oh, and that's an accidental slip stitch. It is a little bit tricky. We're working in really, really small rounds here, but there we go. And you'll notice that I didn't mark the first stitch of my round. The reason I didn't do that is because this is just so tight that it's, adding this in is just too bulky for what we're working with right now. So if you need a stitch marker, I'll let you know when you should add it. But for now, we're just going to keep in mind we have 1 stitch done in our next round. I'm going to now put 2 more single crochets into this next round, so we'll have 3 total stitches done in this round here. Now you'll notice it's hard to see because we're working with such a small round here, but it is starting to go inside out. If you have ever worked crochet in the round, you know that your work starts to curve inside out and you have to flip it back right side out in order for it to, look correct. So that's what we're doing here. We've done 3 stitches in our second round, and at this point, now I'm gonna start, even take my hook out and just start shoving it the right way out. You can sort of see there's our magic circle there, and I'm just sort of maneuvering everything the right side out. The reason why I don't do this after the first round, why I do it when there's 3 stitches, is it's a lot easier to flip everything right side out when there's only 3 stitches as opposed to 4. So now I'm going to put my hook back in. This is where it can get a little bit tricky, so we need to find that 4th stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then this guy would be number 4. You can also just look, we worked into that stitch, so now we're working here. And so I'm just going to go into that stitch and work my 4th stitch of my round. And that's how we do it. From here on out, it's not going to be able to flip back out. The other thing with this being such a tight cylinder, such a tight tube, is it's not going to fold itself back inside out the way some crochet projects do. Once it's in this position, it's stuck there. Also at this point, if you want to or you need to, you can now put your little stitch marker back in there and you can go. Usually I'm using these sorts of things with stuff that's free-handed, so if I pull Echo back over here, I didn't pay attention to whether or not I started or ended at the same stitch, whether I had completed full rounds. I just kind of went until the tube seemed long enough, and then I cut the yarn. I didn't actually pay attention to the starts of my round at all. But I hope you found that tutorial useful, and hopefully it helps you in any other weirdly small crochet things that you're working on.